We are live here.
Hockey Nation fans, welcome back to another special early edition of the Hockey Nation Live Show. This is your coach, Coach Francis, directly from the South Florida. And we have to go to find the co-host directly from the West Coast, Michael DiVillano.
Ooh, I got applause coming in.
Standing ovation from the west to the east.
Thanks, Pierre. That's amazing.
Yep.
Well, we had a shockingly busy day the last 24 hours because I think we were like, hey, everything's going to wind down, but it seems to be picking up a little bit.
I was expecting that. I think everybody will be on the weekend relaxing, right? Whatever, they have some discussion, some smoke, get out of fans discussion, right? And then you see, and then, the last 24 hours, the NHL are in meetings with the general manager or right now with the NHL meetings. So that's make discussion getting closer. So you see what happening with Chicago and Edmonton. This is just the beginning of the next 2 weeks on fan news, everything like that. You have to be on the 24 hours alert and NHL right now with everybody on social media, everything like that. You make like 30 minutes missing the Twitter, and then you missing news, right? So, but that's the only thing I think NHL have a problem. They push everything at the same time. I think they should pushing a little bit longer, but at the same time, they don't want to push too long because time to give vacation for everybody will take some time for management. So, but again, it's a good year. It's a good time for everybody, and whatever is your team, you look for your team to get improved and to get better and better. That's the way to do this for the next. What we have 13 today, so the next 16 days is going to be really, really busy in the NHL. Closer we become from the 21st, 23rd, 24th, and 28th.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild month, which is kind of fun. I mean, the reality is if you're a general manager or you're a coach or you are a scout, you've been sitting around for a while. You're not doing anything in the playoffs. You're an observer. Well, except for the coaches. The coaches, for the most part, unless you're like one of the finals coaches, they're all kind of idle. So sorry, grab my coffee. Say good morning to Adam. Eagle Fang has joined us. The Oilers got robbed. We'll talk about that. Kimberly has joined us this morning, and Alexis. It looks like Alexis did a show with Frank Well yesterday.
Alexis, it was on fire last night, Michael. He was on the show with Frank Wells, and he was impressive on his front draft he did over there. Like maybe one of the fire was not agree with him, but his pick was pretty good over there. And Frank did well with two guests, and Alexis was one of the guests over there. So they took the from 1 to 5, but it was nice to put a face on people.
I love it.
To see his face live with Frank was great to see that. So congratulations to Alexis Dubuc to did that with them. So with Frank.
Well, Lexi, I'll invite you. Let's schedule something. Send me your details. I don't know how the easiest way to message us, but just message me and let's schedule a time. We can start going through the draft because I think that's important to start going through, and happy to have you on. That'd be great. Michael Rosenblatt has joined us this morning. You like the close-up of my forehead? Is it close? And then Eagle Fang, the Oilers got fleeced. Well, we're going to talk about that. Charles Killer YouTube. Oh, my God. And our good friend, Brad Marchand's son. Oh, my God. I don't know what's going on.
Frank is in the house this morning. And then Charles is a French-Canadien, directly from Québec. So on lui souhaite un bon bonjour ce matin. Bon matin, mon ami Charles. J'espère que tu as bien dormi. Tu es prêt pour la journée du mardi. And hopefully everybody is ready to Tuesday. An amazing, great day. And stay in touch with the Hockey Nation Live Show every day, 11 o'clock and 8 o'clock p.m. We are live stream. And also don't forget to click on the likes and sharing and make some comments to video. Already, Mike, the first video of the day is on already.
Oh, you already have a video?
I did Pika Rennie like 30 minutes ago.
Oh, good. All right. Well, I mean, the big news yesterday, which everybody's talking about, is this trade of Duncan Keith. The Oilers were inexplicably, to me, excited about getting Duncan Keith. That's the 37-year-old Duncan Keith, not the 27-year-old Duncan Keith. And they give up Caleb Jones, who's now 24, Pierre. I didn't realize how old he was. and a third-round pick. They do get back another prospect in Sutherland. What was kind of your initial reaction to this trade?
If you don't follow the social media, you feel good. If you follow the social media, the analyst people, you feel bad.
Yeah.
So, but then after that, the 24 hours after that, like this morning, then you're going to realize other things around that transaction over there. I cannot understand some fans are upset or some fans don't understand everything like that. But I see me, the human being behind that. The guy gave 16 years to play one team. He was maybe at that time at his prime of as a hockey player, one of the best defensemen in NHL. And also, I'll be honest with you, if you go deeper, Chicago Blackhawks, Michael, have a great franchise history, right? And I wouldn't be surprised he's maybe the one or the top 3 best defensemen for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Absolutely.
So he gave a lot for the organization. And for what he did back to him, he requests to go be close to the family. That's what was the original plan. And Chicago, he tried to please him, to send him close to his family. The reason why it's not because the problem he was, Michael, he was the COVID, where he was in USA and the family is in Canada. No way to see each other, everything like that. So he wanted to finish his career where close to his son Colton, and he wanted to see him hockey. This he cannot do. Said anything about the human being, the dad, the father, and the person. Now on the ice is another way. Now you can see that. Now he played 24 minutes, 23 minutes every game for Chicago last year. He's one of the worst on the defensive side. If you look about analytics stuff, everything like that, he struggled on that one over there. So that's the negative about that one over there. That I understand. On the flip side, Edmonton pick up someone where I believe he's going to bring leadership. He's going to bring inside the locker room what Corey Perry did, Eric Stahl did for the Montreal Canadiens. That's not make the team the best team and going to make the final. But he will bring things they don't have on that side in Edmonton. Secondly, as a hockey player, right, he's not become the best defenseman, Michael, for the Oilers. He become right now on the second pair of the defensemen. So he's going to play behind Daniel Nurse. So he's not going to be in the top one over there, and he's not going to carry on the PK over there. He's going to play about 18 minutes, 20 minutes per game. That's what I see his time. Now, you have a difference between top line and second pair and defenseman. What are you talking about? Because they're going to protect him, possible to let him play again the third line, the fourth line, not always the top line on each team every night, what he does for Chicago. That's what I'm really encouraged for the Edmonton Oilers about that one over there. So they're going to bring things where at the end of the day, he's a good hockey player. He's smart. He's a good player. But I think the fact he's not play again night after night, shift after shift, again, the best of the best, I think that will give him a better number for him. Of course, he's 37. It don't cost nothing to Oilers. $2 million this year, 1 point something next year. The AAV is $5.5 million. I understand that. But Edmonton now, they're not going to get back the best defenseman, Oleg Klimboom or Glenn. Was this Glenn? Okay, so he's not coming back. So he's going to save again money. With him, with Duncan Keith, they still have about $30 million carry on that for a new goaltender, forward, and also another defenseman. So this not change a lot. They have a lot of cap space at the end of the day. So it's not too bad about that one there. So that's what I see good thing about this. Chicago, the only thing they get is they gave $4,000 plus to spend to someone else, everything like that. Nothing will happen for the third round pick. It becomes but maybe a second round pick if Duncan Keith go all the way to third round in NHL for 2022. Caleb Jones is a player where it's a lot of work to do. Can he make it the top 4? We'll see. More than 5 and 6, and that's why you have a lot of defensemen like this. So for me, it's more about giving a chance or the wish of Duncan Keith and to open up his NMC over there.
So, I mean, that's a great analysis of the situation. I mean, I think the reality is it's interesting. Did they remove him from this? That's kind of strange. His best days are clearly behind him. This is a guy that's won a Conn Smythe trophy. He's won the Stanley Cup 3 times. Chicago arguably is behind Edmonton right now, and he's still very capable of playing minutes, but he doesn't have to play 23, 24 minutes a game the way he would normally. And that was what he was before. He was just a very high minute guy. And I think if you reduce him to 17, 18 minutes a game, he's going to improve. I think it'll really help him. Is he going to produce offensive numbers? I mean, Pierre, he's never been a big offensive producer, right? Like, he's been good, but not like top notch.
He have only 105 goals and 643 games, so it's not like the biggest number there. But he can carry. He pass the puck. He play power play. Every time that, he won the Norris 2 times. So
he did. Wow, I was gonna say he won the Norris once, but I forgot he won in 09.
If it's not, he won something twice.
Yeah, twice. James Norris.
There you go.
He won in 2009, 2010, and then 2013, 2014. Won the Conn Smythe in 2014-15. So, I mean, these are all amazing things. This guy's a Hall of Fame defenseman in the end. Like, that's going to happen. That's the type of player that, he's got 625 points in 1,192 games. So he's legitimately got a great career. Here's my problem with this. This is a typical Ken Holland move. I don't get it. Yes, he only pays $2 million and then $1.5 million in actual money, but it chews up over $5 million in cap space for them. And this is a team that's already got challenges, and they have to make a move to fix that. So that kind of bothers me. The second is he has a history of getting guys that are at the end of their career, not the middle or beginning. So he's he's got a big name guy, and it never really translates. You look back to Detroit, and you look at guys like Thomas Vanek that come in, and they don't really have,
the only thing he did well is the Russian. He bring back Fitzizov and also another Rush. I think it was Larionov, whatever it was. So he bring back that one with there. I think on that one for me,
that was Scotty Bowman. This is what I'm saying. You're talking about the 90s, and that was Scotty Bowman. That was not Ken Holland. So he's trying to look at that pattern and duplicate it, and that's just not. It hasn't worked out for them. So it's kind of frustrating. It is what it is. I hope it works out for everybody. He had 15 points in 54 games. What you've got to hope is Evan Bouchard is going to learn from him, because Evan Bouchard has the ability to be a top 2 defenseman in the NHL. He's 6'3". He's not an amazing skater, but he's a strong skater. His biggest thing is he can really shoot the puck, and he's big, like one-on-one. He's hard to play against. So I think this will help him if they're paired up. The other pairing will be interesting to see. I think Philip Broberg will probably be on the roster sooner than later, and he's a really high-end defenseman.
He's still in Sweden. He's still on the SHL. I think he's going to stay one more year over there.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Possible with Norlander. Norlander from Montreal is still one more year. But that's a good point about that one over there for Broberg over there. But he's missing Larson and that chart over there. I think Larson is going to set up more the way they have this. And the other one we don't talk about this is Koku over there. But if you think about that, Bouchard beside Duncan Keith or Bouchard beside Tyson Barrie?
I mean, Barrie and Bouchard are both right shots. So this, to me, if it's me, it's about Bouchard. Like, how do we integrate Bouchard and give him a mentor? Because the top pairing you're not too worried about. Ethan Bear's got problems, but Darnell Nurse compensates for that. Duncan Keith and Bouchard has the potential to be an awesome kind of, just like look at Detroit this year, and Mark Stahl looked like he's on the ass end of his career, and he plays with a guy that's a little quicker and Stetcher, and they work out. They're like their top pairing. So they have that ability. I think as a second pairing, that could be helpful. Is Edmonton better today? Do you walk out of that series with Montreal going, let's get Duncan Keith, let's not have Larson on the roster? Or do you go, hey, how do we add, a Ben Sherratt? How do we add a Joel Edmondson? Because those guys were very effective against a lot of teams. Like, isn't that the lesson you learn? I don't get it. So they have to make another move here. Like Larson is, if they can get Larson back, great. Then this looks a lot. Then it looks
There's
a lot.
definitely Larson's good there. It's like it's just a good piece of the puzzle.
It could be, but if this is it, they're in trouble. I mean, this is a bad.
They're not. They have $10 million to spend, 13 millions. So they will move.
Yeah, they have to move. They have to, but they have to get a goalie, Pierre.
But the goalie is not. He's not need. They don't need like Frederick Anderson. You can get him about $5 million if you're looking for him.
Right. So then your 10 goes to 5, and you got to bring back Larson. That's 0. So they have other issues.
Well, Larson is going to give you about $4 million.
So then you got 1. So that
sorry.
Then you got 1 million, right? You have 10 million in cap. You're going to spend 5 on a goalie, and then you've got, let's call it 4 for Larson. I think you'll get a little bit more, but maybe he only gets 4.5. And so then you got like, let's call it $1 million left over out of that 10. You still have not addressed any of the issues on the forward line. So they've got a few moves to make here. I don't think it's a horrible move. I like Duncan Keith. I like the fact that, it's cheap salary, but it does chew up a lot of cap space. So they've got to get deals otherwise. Like, to me, the key is they got to bring back Larson. They've obviously indicated they don't want to bring back Tyson Barrie.
Definitely, Barry's out.
Yeah, he's done. So it's interesting. I think we just let it play out. It'll be interesting to see how everything folds out. I hope that you're wrong about Broberg. They brought Broberg over at the end of last year, and he played. Remember those playoff games? They were like qualifying playoff games. It's weird because it doesn't show up on his stats, but he played in those games and he looked great. You're like, who is this guy? And then you look it up, and it's like, that's Philip Broberg. He's 6'3".
He did not play in NHL.
He did.
No.
Yes, he did. So this is why I'm saying
stats over there.
I'm telling you why it's not in the stats. So if you look at the playoff, remember last year where they had the qualifying playoff, where they let in the extra 6 teams, 15, 16, 9 teams or whatever it was, right? Remember how Montreal and the Rangers got in? And Edmonton
the 24 team you talk about.
Yes, the 24 teams. So he played in those games for Edmonton, and he looked great. So that's
I don't think so. He's not nowhere. He should be there. If he... I'm sorry?
I'll bet you $100. So that's why I was shocked that he went back. And I don't understand why. I thought he would be, but the problem was, Pierre, there was no AHL season.
No, you have 0 game in NHL.
I'm telling you, he's already played in those games.
It's impossible, Michael. If he play a game, he's going to be on his stats.
Broberg.
We lost Michael. Judas.
Sorry, I accidentally navigated away. But anyways, he did play, Pierre, and I'll prove it to you. So, because I was watching, I'm like, keep this guy. He's so good. But the problem was there was no AHL season because of COVID. So they sent him back to Sweden. So if there's an AHL season, this guy's coming over.
Yeah, no game in NHL. He played only on the SHL, International Junior, WCAG 20.
I know what you're talking about, and I'm telling you, he played in those games, Pierre.
I know, Michael, if you play a game in NHL, you are on the roster of NHL. You're part of the NHL. His name is not on anywhere in NHL games. Yeah,
I'll bring it up. I'll go back and pull the game up and show you. But
Philip Broberg right now on the hockey reference, right? He has 0 game in NHL.
Yeah.
Absolutely 0. It's empty there. I just go on the cap friendly. I check Broberg on his stat on Elite Prospect. He have no game.
Are you going to challenge me on this, Pierre?
What?
Are you actually going to challenge me on this?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Because any player, Michael, play only 1 game is going to be somewhere on the stat somewhere.
I agree, which is why I was shocked he wasn't on the stats. But they brought him over and they put him on the taxi squad, and he played in those games because I watched him. He will stay. Look, see.
At the end of the day, he's a great hockey player. He was 8th overall pick, and by them, he have a great prospect going to be part of that team. I'll not be surprised he's going to become a top 4. Can he be ready next year? Can he be in 2 years? I don't know. But he's a big guy, 6'3" up, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. He's 6'3", he can skate. So anyways, that's what this is about. He played with them in that preliminary part. And they got knocked out by Chicago, ironically. So he was on the taxi squad, then they sent him back.
I'm not saying maybe he was on taxi squad. Just
No,
saying
he played. He played. He did play.
Anyways, I look at his stat at the bottom.
I get how stats work. I understand how stats work. There's a mistake in those stats. Those stats for those first qualifying games, show me where they are, because I don't see them anywhere.
A qualified game, he count, Michael.
They should have.
They did count.
Okay. All right. Well, he's never played according to Pierre, and that's cool.
But if you play in the qualifier, because you talk about the first round, right? It was the best of 5, I believe, no?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I guess I'm wrong according to that. But anyway, so he is ready for the NHL. I'd be shocked if they didn't keep him. Anyways, so the other news was the Pecorine news. We'll move off of this since apparently we're going to get stuck on this. Pecorine retires. He just won the Vezina, Pierre, in 2017.
Yeah, it's another player where it's like any goaltender, right? Some of them don't start right away where they have a good, right? You know what I mean? Like he get better when he get older. I think when he get 30, that's why he really pick his career over there. They have a great year in 2017-18 when they won to the final all the way. That year was unbelievable. He won one time the Trophy Vezina that year. Then he won this year the Class C. 15 years in NHL, over 600 game. He have 369 versus 200 loss. A great career, an icon. He's not only on the ice, as our eyes. Like you talk about a franchise players, you always remember we're going to stick. Like the Seddon brother in Vancouver. On my video, I put them as like them, where he's going to be the one always wearing the logo. He play only for one team in the beginning. And the funny story about that, I don't know if you know that, Michael, is the scout for Nashville got a phone call to watch Backstrom. Remember the goaltender Backstrom in Minnesota?
No.
He played many years.
Backstrom.
Yeah. So the scout got a phone call to go to watch him. So he go there, watch the game, and he find Piquet René. Like, so who's this guy over there, 6'5"? And that's how he discovered Piquet René, because he was watching Backstrom. So that's the funny thing about how they approach and they find Piquet René over there. So that's the funny story about him. But great career, great human being. And I believe he's going to stay around to become working on that organization. Maybe what, the old player like Jean Béliveau did for Montreal, and Bauer for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and those guys stay around their team forever. I think that would be something like that at some point for Nashville.
So you think he'll be like a goalie coach or something?
No, maybe like Roberto Luongo, like, you know what I mean? Like if they become alumni president, or he work for the team on something, like, some players does this for their team. And Luongo now works as assistant general, but now he have another job right now, but he was working. Martin Brother did back in New Jersey Devils.
Like an ambassador or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't say he'd be a coach, but he would be, for the organization at some point. Maybe not next year, but, Seddon took 2-3 years before they come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So his stats are kind of crazy. He never quite got them. He got them to the finals one time. So that was, a big part of their history when they had Smashville in the Stanley Cup finals. And I think that was the year he won the Vezina, right? In 2017. Yep. His stats are very impressive overall. 683 NHL games, a 2.43 career goals against average, .917 save percentage. And he's a big guy, 6'5", 6'6", depending on who measures him.
Yep.
Yep. Kind of the new era of goaltender that like take a lot of space. And again, to your point, he wasn't really on the radar. He was an 8th round draft pick.
No, and during that time in 2004, they have no, not only 7 round pick. It was what, 10, 12, I believe. I don't remember the
Yeah,
number.
we don't even have past 7 anymore.
Yeah, you start at 232 or 248 now. So,
yeah, it's kind of crazy. So I don't know. Do you think Pecorine ends up being a Hall of Fame goalie?
no.
No. It's tough. What the only thing he hasn't accomplished is a Stanley Cup final win.
Yeah. Yeah, but in the playoff, he played 89 game, Michael, 45, 44, 243, I believe his average, or 249.
Yeah,
He
really
did
good.
well, but to be at the same prestige like the brother, the Roy, or those Belford, or those guys, I don't see that.
It's tough because if you look at him statistically, he's 4th among NHL goalies who won 350 games behind Hasek, Brodeur, Plante. So it's going to be a tough decision. I think the only thing he hasn't accomplished is winning the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
He's won a Vezina. He's got great stats.
It maybe make it, honestly, but
it may be in a down year. Maybe in a year when they're running out of people, but it's an interesting discussion how we don't think of him as a Hall of Fame goalie, and yet he's got those types of numbers. So,
yep.
So in other news,
I think you should look about the message. I think many people talk right now on the message. So.
Yeah, there's a lot. So we've posted up. So basically, people are commenting a lot on the Duncan Keith trade. The one that I thought was interesting, one was Eagle was mentioning how 4 players mocked to go in the top 10 of the NHL draft are committed to Michigan or playing Michigan. So it is true. It's kind of crazy. So you've got like basically the first pick power. You've got Luke Hughes, who will go somewhere in the top 5 or 6. You got Benners, who will go probably top 3 at this point. And then what's the other one? There's Kent Johnson. So you got 4 guys who are saying they're all going to go back to Michigan so they can win a championship with Michigan.
Was that most, 3 of them play for the UFC program?
Yep. Well, no, 2 of them. 2 are Canadian and 2 are US.
Yeah.
Kent Johnson and Owen Power are both Canadian.
Yeah.
We drafted Kent Johnson in Everett, and he decided to go Michigan route. So that would have been great if we got him. He would have been an awesome player. Owen Powers from Mississauga, Ontario. So he played in the GTHL. And then you've got Benners and Luke Hughes, obviously. And what's funny, Pierre, Luke Hughes, who did he play for at minor hockey? Toronto Marlies.
In Texas.
No, he's Toronto Marlies. All those brothers played.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm talking about John.
So really,
I'm sorry.
3 of those 4 all developed in Canada.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to me. There was
so you talk about Kaprizov?
Yeah, so this is interesting. Adam saying Kaprizov wants a 3-year deal in the range of 10 to 11 million. Like, this seems ridiculous to me.
It's a COVID-19 contract. Everything that I don't know how they're going to deal with that part over there. Honestly, it's a little bit what Subban did with Montreal a couple of years ago, and I don't know.
It's so
a lot of money, and everybody have a contract at 10 million more. They struggle,
but they also have longevity, right? Like they have you don't make it so the guy's unrestricted free agent in 3 years. So
what about to trade him and get 4 good players?
So where do you trade him?
I don't know, but I'm just like if you want to play, get your money, someone who is willing to give you $11 million. Toronto look like he does a lot of stuff like that. But my point is you can go with that way and that route, and I think it would be more benefit to get someone lower.
Yeah, probably.
Because you cannot you tie up the rest of you. That's happening right now with many teams.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting. It's kind of a difficult situation. I'm kind of disappointed in this for Minnesota. He is a great talent, but this pick he's a guy that could have played here a lot sooner, refused to come over, and here we are again, right?
Yep. It'll be very interesting to follow that story.
Yep. We'll just mention Mitch Love hired as the new coach. We don't normally talk about the AHL, but this is a good hiring for Calgary. He will fit in very well with the Calgary organization, Pierre. He is a hard-nosed guy. He was an enforcer in the WHL. He was a captain with the Everett Silvertips. He studied under Kevin Constantine, which we won't hold against him, but he did learn a lot. I mean, Kevin is very, acquired taste, always has success. But Mitch then cut his own path and went to Saskatoon. Kirby Doc came out of that program, and he's going to be a great coach in the AHL. I think he's very well suited to the pro game. And you've got to think that Daryl Sutter is on, a short leash, right? Like, how long do you invest in Sutter? And I got to think that Mitch Love is definitely now in line to maybe be a coach with the Calgary Flames at some point, whether that's as an assistant or a head coach. So I think it's a great opportunity for him, and I think they get an awesome coach.
Yeah, for sure. Like you have to. Anybody go to that level, they have to prove before they jump the next level. That's another step close where you want to become, and go from QM or CCHL to get the next level. That's the path to do it. So would be interesting what he's going to do with Stockton.
Absolutely. I think he'll do very well. He's one of the most prepared coaches you'll ever see. I think he relates well to players, and no one's going to give Mitch a hard time. He's a tough guy. So he'll set the tone and set the right culture, and he's a very serious coach. I think he'll have a lot of success. Adam mentions about the Kraken Stadium, which we know is called Climate Pledge Arena. They're saying it'll be ready in October. Wait, it's not ready now? I'm shocked. Yeah, if Pierre knows my opinion on this is like a long-standing issue, and it's never going to go away. This is going to be Seattle's Montreal Stadium.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's absolutely going to be a nightmare. All right, Pierre, I just want to check and make sure I'm not missing a meeting here. Hold on. Oh, I am missing a meeting. Pierre, unfortunately, I think I have to go to a meeting.
All right, sound good.
Do you want to continue on?
Yeah, I will answer those questions of the people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't. I'll try to put them on as you go.
No problem. Shane Simon said, I think Benjamin would be stepped down from his DG shortly. He's pretty tired. So what happening during that press conference? A question was coming to someone ask Bergevin about what's going to happen with him next year, everything like that. And then he said, I'm going to honor my contract. Now, if you follow Mike Bergevin a lot, it's easy to read. That morning, he was not happy. You can see he was upset. Is it upset because he lost in final? Is it upset because he did not get the contract the way with Joel Bouchard? You have something was bothering him during that morning. I cannot put my the reason why, but I know that day he was not happy. I can promise you that Mike Bergeron is going to stay over there. Now, what happening is this part. If he leave, he's going to become the president of the Montreal Canadiens, and they're going to bring a new GM over there. I believe he will stay inside the organization. I believe he's going to step up more like a president, something if happen after that. Can he get another contract, 3 years? Possible. Do he want to do it? I don't know. But I feel like that over there, I think could be. Can he have enough energy to go? I think so. But there's a story about that. So I know what I know what you're talking about, but I think you have to wait a little bit longer for sure. Since I know we're not happening from Bergie, Mary said the Kraken would be ready in October. That's really pushing last minute. Yeah, that could happen about that one there. Adam, pourquoi is not happening? Jordan Will running to Russia. Yes, that was another news I was going to bring tonight at the show, the Power Play, and with Cold Frenchy. Don't forget to make that show. 8 o'clock Eastern Time, we bring all the news. Jordan will have a career in NHL for his bumping from one team to another team. the bottom four line is the one that are the top good player in the AHL, and they go play four and they come back and forth. That's what Jordan Will did for the Montreal Canadiens. He played last season with the Laval Rockets, got a contract, I believe, of 2 years. I can be wrong. I put this on the Facebook page yesterday, I believe. So he's going to play in the KHL. Jordan Will leave the Laval Rockets. So good comments about that, Johnny. Bergevin is going nowhere. I agree with you, Bergie. Adrien Bourgault. Hey, Adrien, welcome back. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you have an amazing, great day. Of course, everybody. Alexis Dubec, as-tu entendu mon show hier avec Frank? Yes, I did at the beginning. I talk about this at the beginning of the show, Alexis. So that's what happening about that. Now, the NHL GM yesterday have a meeting between everybody. So they talk about the situation. So I just want to give you 5 highlights of that meeting. First of all, they talk about expansion draft rules, everything like that. They be sure they gave back. So one thing happening today, if you don't know the situation about that, so every team have players, or many teams have players with no movement clause. So it's called an NMC. So that's called it. So today at 5 p.m., the team or the general manager have to advise the players if he would like to become on the waiver on the no protection list to be offered to the Seattle Kraken. They have to give that to the players today at 5 o'clock p.m. Now, from tonight, 5 o'clock, until Friday morning, the player gave back an answer. That's what they have, like 3 days to do that. And then they confirm, yes, no, I'm not want to do this. I keep my NMC. And then after that, after their answer, the team make their list. They have to give back for Friday at 5 p.m., I believe, their list. And then that team, the Kraken, have 3 days until the 21st to select their players and give this to NHL. It's going to be live at 7 o'clock Eastern time, I believe. So that's the rule about that. Now, back to the GM meeting. They accept the 82 games. They accept they go back like normal next season. They accept Arizona's moving from the West Division to the Central Division. And then the Seattle Kraken become now on the West Division. So that's all set up over there. They talk about the unvaccinated players. So they have to figure out if everybody have to be vaccination, yes or no. Some deal like that they talk about. They talk about the rules of cross-checking. A couple of years ago, they talk about the holding and hooking and someone else, tripping or something else. Talk about to get the game better and better. So they talk about the cross-checking about that. The lastly they talk about is the Olympics schedule. So the schedule in NHL is going to be released next week between Tuesday or Thursday. And they have 2 right now. The one, if they go to Olympics next year, or the one they don't go. And from that discussion they're going to get, that's why they're going to release the right one about that one over there. That's something they have to go. The NHL PA is involved with that. The NHL also, and they negotiate with the Olympics people over there. So that's what about the GM. They have another one today, more deeper, but you don't talk about all this fun thing like we I just mentioned this to you. So that give you an idea about that one over there. I try back on the lineup here. I really think the GM job is too much for him. You talk about Bergevin. Maybe the way the contract negotiations are not going well. Are you talking about Bergevin? I'm not sure. Ce soir, je fais des choix succincts. Parfait, mon homme, Alexis. Shane Summon, he's doing well. Every now GM and NHL have an assistant general manager. They all negotiate about the contract, about salary cap. So be sure they protect this, the money go there, and they do this. They do one movie, like that. I think overall, Bergevin did a great job on the trade, and he did well on negotiation. I think overall he did well. I think the people talk about the draft, everything like that. Some is because of him, but the draft is not coming honestly from him. It's coming from Trevor Timmons. And Montreal, they are in the middle of the NHL. They are not the bad, the worst, and they are not the great also on the draft. And this year is going to be worse because the situation is terrible, to be honest with you, about that one over there. I saw a couple of things about Julius. Past performance did not make you a better team. Key game right now is not worth the cost. I think for me, it's like he's not going to be. I think he's going to be fine over there. I think he's going to be good. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be worse. I think this he's going to bring what they don't have, the leadership and what it takes to win. And all those conversations, he can take the youngest under his wing, show them what it takes to become a professional, the work ethic, how do you show up at the practice, what time you have to show up at the practice, what you need to do to get better. All the details like this, you learn from those experience for players like him. That's what Duncan Keith can bring to the young men like Eden Bear or Evan Bouchard and those kind of players. That's what he can do also. Is it 5.5 or is it a problem? I'm not here to judge that, honestly. But I think overall, it's not bad like the people think it's bad. And how you going to evaluate this? Is it just because they don't win? It's not only him make a team, to go all the way. But I think for me, at that moment on the negotiation, you have nothing else you can do more. Adam, Roddy Smith on the regular made the move this summer regarding the Frank Severly, the 30 years old. Yeah. So Frank Severly made a list. And one of my 28 video I did 2 days ago, came from a little bit for him and another person on the Atlantic, a mixed boat. And they had 3 new players. One of them was Roddy Smith. They thinking maybe could trade him over there, everything like that. So it'll be really, really interesting about what Roddy Smith is going to do. I don't say he's underrated, but I don't think he's a bad one. I just feel like, it's a mix of a second, third. I think they have right now Alex Tuck can jump in on his role inside that team. Now, he played most on the second line with Marchessault, if I can recall it, and Carlson. Still can score 20, 25 goals. He's been always regular as a hockey player, but it would be really interesting about that one over there. Do you think they want to talk with Fleury since they have... I don't think so. I think the next move for me, it will be targeting Zed Jones. They have players to trade for Zed Jones. They have a center they can bring over there. Kisharev could be someone they can maybe interest over there. So I think that would be good. And the fact like Jonathan Toews is coming back, I think they missed 2 puzzles over there. He missed, of course, another defenseman behind if they already get Zed Jones and also a goaltender over there. I think Leskinen don't show me enough to be a regular over there. And they have a lot on the market. I'm making a video right now on the top 10 goaltender free agency is coming the next 10 days, 15 days. And I think they have a lot of them to pick. They can pick up better what they have already. Subban and Leskinen are not the right answer for them if they want to become. I think they don't want to waste the years of Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews, too many, to try to give them a chance at least to be better and to have a chance to maybe make the playoff, and maybe from that part everything could happen. I have an offer, Blackville at first, Kirby Dak for Zed Jones. It's a lot to give for him. I think if you want to rebuild, I will not touch any defenseman. If you want to get Zed Jones, I think if you get Zed Jones, a Dak with a first-round pick, that's enough. I would not add, because now you rebuild, but you destroy. You want to rebuild your defenseman, but now you gave something where he one of your top prospect right now, and Bourqueville's doing well. He's a top 4 right now. He's going to be a top 4, and I think you're not going helping your team to do that. Johnny Golden, coach, beside Tampa, what team have cap concern? Johnny, 25 or the 20 team in NHL have problem with cap salary. Now, Tampa is the only one over. The rest are below. But their margin to sign their RFA, their margin to fill their 20 roster minimum is bring those cap right now at maybe at $5, $7, $8 million, going closer to 81. So some of them are really close. They're going to be close at the end over there. That don't give them enough way to sign a lot of UFA. They have to find a way. Like Pittsburgh struggles, so they try maybe send Jason Zucker with Marcus Pedersen, save $9 million, to use that money to do something like that. Me, I'll be honest with you. Can Julien Brisebois have enough guts to trade Steven Stamkos? I believe that's the key. If they want to win next year, they need to trade Steven Stamkos. That would fix the problem they have. They're going to lose Tyler Johnson maybe, but they're going to lose at least 2 or 3 of them. And I think that will be something. They talk about Palat, Gord, or Killorn. And I think they need to keep Gord because he's losing Coleman and Goodrow. And they may be better to lose Palat or Killorn at some point. But I think Stamkos, I think some point you have to go with the heart. You have to go with your head and not to go with your heart. I understand he's a captain, everything like that. But can they go another way? Of course. But I think some point, I don't know. It's not easy. I'm happy I'm not on his shoes right now, Julien Brisebois. I can't wait to see his move to give them the team to go below their salary cap. A good question about that, Johnny. Question: how are the players paid when they have a contract with an NHL team and then get caught up? How does this work? Good question, Bergie. So how this works is this: they have, and most of them, you talk about a player up and down, right? So they have 2. Sometimes they will sign a contract 2 ways. But a 2 ways contract works this way. Where, example, like we'll take, I don't know, take Romanov from the Montreal Canadiens. He could have a contract with $800,000 with NHL. If you play on American Hockey League, you become at $250,000. So every time he go to pass 6 days NHL, they will split his full amount of $900,000 per year on 6 days, and he get maybe $20,000 per day. Then he go back to American Hockey League after that for 1 month. Now he back on the salary $250,000, and he get the money he's supposed to get per month, per day, about that. So that's the way you make with that part. So many players at the below or the top bottom 6 have a 2 ways contract. When they play in NHL, they get more money. Back in the AHL, they get less money. I don't know if that's helping you to understand how it works, but that's maybe the best way. At least Michael, have something else you want to add about that?
No, for 2-way contracts, no.
Yeah.
Did you address Alexis's proposal for Bachfist on a first?
All done. Yep. I'm right now at that one. Coach, no, I did that one also. Yeah, I answer all those questions.
And that was the AHL question from Adam. Yeah, so I think, did we talk about the expansion and who you want to keep and who you want to let go? We can do that another day. I know you've started that otherwise. My work schedule got in the way of my hockey schedule.
I forgot about that. Simon Lafleur, welcome. Merci beaucoup, Simon. Fait plaisir. He's on the chat right now. I see that one over there. So
we also have Atlanta weather.
Atlanta weather, Mr. Georgia. Welcome back in the house to this morning. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget, guys, we have a new show every night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, the Power Play Show. We have the CC Eagles, Margals coming in the show. The play-by-play for the Colorado Eagles and hockey and the American Hockey League is going to be in the show. I will wait next week. We have Mr. Oh, my God. The collector investor hockey card, or
really cool.
So he's going to talk about how does collectible cards works with NFT, everything like that. It's all coming in August because I believe it's too busy right now to bring this. So they are coming in August. I bring the woman from us coming also. So I have about 4 or 5 on the August for the power play show tonight. So very interesting to see that.
Cool. Well, I do want to, we're getting close to the expansion draft, and I know you've been going through them. So maybe tomorrow we can make sure, let's go back through the bottom 4 teams, who you would want out of those teams. So I don't know how you're doing it, but let's do it in reverse by alphabetical.
I picked this team left and right. We select a team like that. So that's what I want.
You should be well prepared then.
I'm sorry again?
You should be well prepared then.
Yeah, most of the team are. I'm not done with, like last time it was like Vegas, Colorado, and Pittsburgh. Yesterday I did Tampa Bay.
Cool.
Yeah, the cup need repair. I think
that is crazy.
I think it was good. I think we did not talk about the pay rate yesterday in Tampa from the sun to the rain. But I think Mr. Kisharov and the new helmet of Mr. Vasilevsky was pretty good. It does, like if someone, it's, I don't know. People asking me, what do you think? And at the end of the day, I don't have no answer because I don't want to get there. That's the generation, the new players. That's the way they celebrate. And if they have a good time for them, perfect.
I mean, I think the reality is, Pierre, there's been lots of history of the cup either being dented, lost, broken. People drink out of it. People have put babies in it. There's always some crazy story around the cup, and that's one of the cool things about it. We also know that it's not just, ooh, this is interesting, Pierre. Look at this. Breaking news from Adam Berger. He says Minnesota is buying up both Zach Parise and Ryan Suter.
Oh, yeah?
Wow, that is really moving on.
But the only thing he does is give sure they have that money for Kaprizov.
I mean, pretty much, but interesting.
That's the only way I see that.
Let's see. Can you see the screen? Oh, you can't. Hold on. Yeah, you can see this, right?
Breaking news: the Minnesota Wild buy out the Zach Parise for the.
Jeez.
That's just coming like 15 minutes ago by Michael Rousseau. Michael Rousseau is the one control.
They saved $10 million, and that's interesting because they have some painful years, but this actually makes a lot of sense on paper. Because they're not playing Parise. Parise was not happy with his role. Suter, I'm a little surprised at. He's definitely not the Suter what he was like.
Well, the only reason he does this, Michael, is to protect Tomba.
That's what I was going to say. This is a move in the expansion draft to protect Dumba, which I think makes a lot of sense. But now, like legitimately, Ryan Suter can still play top 2, top 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So now they've got to compensate for that. But wow, yeah, those contracts, well, they weren't too crazy, really. I think just the length of it, right? And it definitely took right now at their age takes a chunk out of their cap. So this is probably a smart move by Bill Guerin. Like he's got to try to sign Kaprizov. He's got young defensemen that they were very deep on D between Spurgeon and Dumba and Brodin. Like they've got lots of other pieces besides Ryan Suter. It's interesting. I don't know. This makes sense on paper because they save like $12 million this year. Aren't the contracts 7 and 7?
Yeah,
I think so. Right?
Yeah, I'm watching I'm reading all the.
Let's take a look here. So Zach Parise 7.5, and I think Suter is also 7.5.
Oh, yeah, both of them are there for 12, 13 years.
And with the buyout, the hit is only $2 million and then $7 million. So they go from $15 million down to 2 and 7. So that makes a lot of sense. Because according to this, because it stretches out, so basically it's 75% of the balance, and then it's stretched out over double the length. So it's interesting. They'll have a cap hit of only 2.3 instead of 15.
Yeah.
So I mean, this totally makes sense, guys. It's pretty.
But it's not easy. And next
Not
year,
easy.
in the next 3 years, it won't be 6.37, 7.3, 7.3.
I guess that what you think about is it would have normally been 15 million because it's
Save
7.
money, and that's pretty much it. And they save the time to give him.
And they save huge cap hit. I mean, they save even next year. They save $9 million. Then they save 8. They save 8, and then they save like 13, 14. It's interesting to me the 833. I'm trying to understand how that works. Is that because of the annual salary that would normally hit?
I was on Twitter. What are you talking about?
Well, so if you look at how they're saying the new cap hit will be 2.3, 6.3, 7.3. And then
The best way to do it, you have to go cap friendly and then go on a calculator and you're going to find a way.
Right. Well, I mean, but what I think my point is 2.3 versus 15 million is smart.
Usually it's about the sign up bonus.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
Could be another way over there, right? And then you have a year you can buy out quicker or better to compare to other years.
So they're kind of middle of the pack. They already have 15 million in cap space. This will free up about 12, 13. And then if you go buyout calculator.
But you say, like, if you go on the calculator at the top of the screen, say calculator for the players on the right, yeah, calculator. Can you see that? Put the name there.
So they save base salary. That's what it is. Initial cap hit.
Yep.
So they're saving a ton there. And then that's times 2 because their contracts are identical.
Yeah. So they save more this year. Right?
Like
next
a
year,
lot.
The next 3 years is going to be high.
Yeah.
And after that, they drop back over there.
Yeah, really interesting. I didn't see it coming. But I didn't really delve into this math. So, I mean, this makes a ton of sense. They're going to be able to protect Dumba. So then if you look at, just out of curiosity, if you look at their lineup, they already weren't using Parise that much, right?
No. They scratch him during the playoff.
So, that's not really impactful to their lineup. They obviously got to get this guy signed. I don't know about where they're at with Fiala, but this solves a big problem for them. And you got Spurgeon, Brodin, Dumba still. Ian Cole's unrestricted.
So they're going to go more on the 7-3-1 now.
Yeah.
So that give them a chance to save like more the forward versus they was supposed to go 4-4.
Yeah. So it's probably the right time for that move. It's kind of interesting move by Bill Guerin.
And they are what, 35 years old? No?
I think they're at least that. Like, he's as old as Sidney Crosby. It was the same draft as Sidney Crosby for Parise. Let's take a look. He is 36. He's born in 84. And then Ryan Suter, age.
Eric is going to be 38 July 16.
He's an 85, so they're both 36.
I'm talking to answer the question.
Yeah, he's going to be 37 or 38, right? Yeah, 38.
38 next in 3 days.
I mean, I think Suter's still a very good defenseman. He makes mistakes. Like, you could see in the playoffs that there were some shifts where he made mistakes.
Compared to, he's on decline year after year. So he's not going to be the best of the best, but better to Duncan Keith.
You think Ryan Suter's better than Duncan Keith?
Yeah, at that age, compared what he has right now, is like, I think Sutter bring more right now compared to Duncan Keith.
Yeah,
From the stat I'm talking about.
I think he's also more reliable defensively.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're Edmonton,
2 years younger also, right?
So think about this. If you are Edmonton, why couldn't you have just waited and signed Ryan Suter? You didn't have to give up Caleb Jones of the third and take on the extra cap and
Yeah, but you never know that, right? Only after that.
talk to people. Yeah. So I think, I could see Ryan Suter signing somewhere for a lot cheaper. And Parise can be very useful. I mean, both these guys have got good playoff histories. They're good, both excellent leaders. It's going to be interesting. Duncan Keith has been a Jack Johnson type of bad. Oh my God, is he that bad? I don't know if he's that bad. Jack Johnson's pretty deplorable. He's a bad defenseman. He's never been great. He's never been the level of Duncan Keith. But he's not making more than Nuge. He's actually getting $2 million and then 1.5. The problem is the cap hit, Pierre, right? Like it's the 5.5. So
well, the hit is going to be like next year 6.3, 7.3, 7.3. And after that, there will be delivery for 4 years with nothing. But
you're talking Minnesota, not Duncan Keith.
Yeah, I'm talking about Minnesota.
Yeah, no, I think this move for Minnesota is smart. I mean, it seems they've moved on from both these guys. They'll be able to protect Dumba, which makes a lot more sense long term.
That one thing I like from him, Bill Guerin, it's like Minnesota has always been in the middle. They don't want to go deep. They didn't want to go too bad. Like they tried to stay like Montreal had been the same way, like average 13, 12, 14, 17, 18, 20, 13, 14, 17, 18. Now Bill Guerin looked like he's going all in. So you know what? We're going to Boat's going to down, Fell is going to stay, and we're going to go all the way. So I think he did 2 great contracts for the recently. And I think he's going to have more money right now for Kevin Fiala. He's going to have more money for Kaprizov. And I think that's a good move overall. Now, did he save a ton of money?
I think so. It's a smart move.
I tried to get
interesting move by Minnesota.
Yeah. It's still contract. Michael is still like 4 more years. So. And he cannot do anything because both of them was no NMC.
So they just, but this is because it's the buyout period. They're able to buy them out.
They can buy out because they are. They can buy out. You can buy out anybody if you want to. It's just like you get hit by the salary cap for sure. So
very
that's
interesting.
It.
All right, Pierre. Thank you so much. Sorry I had to leave in the middle. Thanks for covering on that. Thanks everyone that joined us today. I think there's going to be a lot more action the next couple of days.
Is there a team or two? Yeah.
Tampa?
A lot of team, yeah. Most of them struggle, but I think right now, Johnny, everybody's looking for expansion drafts, so they try to figure out, open up like that. Some they know they're going to lose, they maybe try to give them, like Chris Traeger, a UFA is going to maybe a trade, everything like that. So it would be interesting about that. So thanks everybody to join the show today. Look forward to see you tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern Time for the Power Play Show with Coach Frenchy. If not, tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock with Michael Deverano. Have an amazing, great day, everybody.
Thanks, guys.